Right, I've prepared something that I want to put up on my on this website because well, I don't know, it means something, and I think it should have a public air. It should have a public voice or an air into it. There's a state of homelessness in this country. The state of homelessness in this country is sometimes a state created by overcautious authorities and under-evaluated or badly nurtured human beings. I believe in God and the Son that He sent to help us to understand His plans for not only a congregational member but every one of His children. Basically, a situation can exist when you have done something wrong which is too much to digest or understand alone. What a lot of investigators and health watchdogs, inverted commas, want to do is to hope you will be alright, but are continuously adjusting your state of shortage by trying to tap into the shortage of the one thing you lack, which is privacy. And while only trading with your weaknesses and appetite through the emotions you're trying to build up in a standalone privacy. This is the value of being homeless, and don't we or shouldn't we agree that God says, or could say, that the weak have had enough? I have been reported missing and only found out when I travelled to an estranged friend's house, but was being looked for by a different county police force in this country, which is England, or their books. This was devastating, and it unravelled as a misuse of the Freedom of Information Act, such that when I was waiting for welfare payments and not going into the disassociated shelters where I didn't want to mix with disabled users who on the whole were not work ready and mocking, I suffered twice over. Now I'm reissued with mental health drugs and not free to go into a house of my choosing without yielding info or picking it up from the health regimes which are so efficient at swifting information at the cost of simply checking where their information comes from or how it can stay with someone for a whole lifetime. If I had served time for taking something, I should have been unconditionally released by now and a full stop put on that crime and sentence and the journeying of that information. Amen. The NHS cannot deliver a treatment regime if the client doesn't have an address to label it to. This is a true reason for more and better testing of how to determine illness. A better and more paced way is to take a hair mineral testing or to try out Pyrrole, P-Y-R-O-L-L-E, disorders which are available online, but which the NHS do not have in their medical cabinet. So the regimes or the decision makers who work through them aren't telling you they've got a condition box. Hair mineral and these Pyrrole disorder tests are better for individual nutrient readdress and replacing the deficit that is caused through trying to look after things, to understand things on your own, and not the ever-balancing reapproach offered by chemical companies through a doctor's treatment room or their condition box. It would be better for me to be on the street and accepting victuals and having no prospect of social life than being tortured by endless overworked empty doctors who want to feed me with their appetite for what? Over concerns, and from what? Too much free worry or too much free information. I'd like to help people to understand that they aren't alone in these things, that if you're young, that this free service we got is not free at the point of entry. It's something you should be aware about, because I've some part of my life has been used, metered away, or it's been undervalued, and the only thing I can say faithfully is it's a guilt that you're given, and it isn't a sin that's being put on you. You shouldn't, if you're taking drugs, whoever's given them to you, and you feel there's something wrong, that isn't your fault you're taking them. It's because you can't be guilty of two things at once, can you? Not if there's no one around, and not if it's not if you've got the if there's something that feels wrong. That really means there is something wrong, and it's it's your heart that's telling you that you need to get on better nutritional evaluation, prayer. These things are available, but not to this free service, which doesn't tell you basically what they haven't got, and doesn't prosper from the idea of being proactive with general information. This is a spiritual message, you might say, but I can tell you, you shouldn't be young and caught up in the folk trade. It's a soul trade as well. That's honest, true information. My name's Stuart Mills. They mess you up. They mess you up.